Page 657. Oyavo shalom aleinu, oyavo shalom aleinu, oyavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Oyavo shalom aleinu, oyavo shalom aleinu, oyavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, salam shalom. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, salam shalom. Oyavo shalom aleinu, oyavo shalom aleinu, oyavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Oyavo shalom aleinu, oyavo shalom aleinu, oyavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam.
Welcome and Shabbat Shalom. There's always kind of an intimate little crowd on this Shabbat Shuvah. That's what you call the Shabbat between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And because there's so many services, people decide to take a break. So you all get extra mitzvah points for being here. Somewhere it's being tallied, and extra stars, extra gold stars for everybody here. Thank you. Thank you to our, I didn't expect that you were over there. It's like, okay. Surprise guest. We have our president, Matthew Meyer. We have our assistant president, Molly Meyer. We have our duty trustee and head of our religious practices committee and coordinator of our choir and lots of other hats, Robin Friedman. We have Andy Sussman and Ruth Pavlo presenting beautiful music that always help bring in a spirit of Shabbat or holidays. Xavier Leff, thank you for the tech. Thank you also for putting up the new flyers on our website. So our website just keeps getting better and better. And this is Shabbat Shuvah, so you may notice, for those of you who are familiar with the word teshuvah, which we bring up a lot this time of year, it comes from the root turning. So this is like the Shabbat of return. This whole High Holy Day period is to get us in the spirit of reflecting enough that we get ourselves back on a path that we feel is best for us, a path on which we are living our best life, and that always takes some adjustment and movement and adapting. So that's why I think we have a word that means to move, because that's what it takes to get ourselves on a positive path. Circumstances change constantly, we change constantly, things around us change constantly, and so in order to be living our best lives, we're always having to pay attention to adapting and changing with the times. I also need to say on this September 22nd, 2023, this is, I can't even barely say this out loud, but this is the 50th anniversary of my bat mitzvah service, the 50th. How did that happen? It's hard to say it out loud. Those of you who follow me on Facebook know, because I put a bunch of pictures up and I put my invitations up and all that. But yeah, so this is a biggie. 50 years since bat mitzvah. And here I am still practicing and trying to get it right. So, candles, I would like to call up, I believe it's Jim and Sandy Lobel and Jim Marsh, to light our Shabbat candles on page 121, or 120, I always forget. Somewhere in that spread. 120.
atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. And you want to read the English?
No, you want to read it.
Okay, where's the English? Blessed are you, God, source of all life, who brings us holiness through mitzvot and who has given us the mitzvah of lighting the Shabbat candles.
Amen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Yesher Koach, thank you. And we continue with Lachadodi. Good Shabbos.
Since we're so intimate.
Yes. Hugging is always appreciated. Lachadodi. Lachadodi is a poem written in about the 1500s by those who followed a mystical tradition, leaders who lived in a town named Tzfat in Israel, and they saw godliness in all the natural world, in they used all kinds of different language, such as very sensual language or nature language to talk about spirituality, just one of the many, many ways that Jews over the centuries have expressed their Judaism, their sense of God in the world. So this is where Lachadodi comes from. It talks about the Shabbat day being like a bride who we welcome into our midst for the day. And it is our custom here to sing verses 1, 2, and 9. And on the last verse, of course, we rise and face the door and welcome the Shabbat bride. Lachadodi on page 138.
Lachadodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לachadodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולי תהילה. לachadodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לachadodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לachadodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לachadodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לachadodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לachadodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
You may be seated. We continue with Chatzi Kaddish, page 144. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. V'yamad yivarach rutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei decho beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv, v'yemeru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach, le'alam alal me'al maya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha berichu, le'elam min kol berchata, v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damihiran bi'alma, v'yemeru amen. And since we're still in high holy day mood, we will continue with Baruch Hu, sung in the melody, the theme, the musical theme, that's a good word for Nusach, the musical theme of the high holy days. Baruch Hu is on page 146, and if you're able, you may rise.
Baruch את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
And on page I went way too far, on page 152, our line from Torah that has been a powerful, something that keeps our people centered and grounded for centuries. Shema, the idea that God is with us, that God, whatever God might be, whatever God is to you, is woven through all of life, is woven through all human beings, something that always keeps us connected to one another. Shema on page 152.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad.
You may be seated. We continue as the Torah continues in Deuteronomy after Shema with V'ahavta, page 154. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol ma'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher hanochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta b'ham, b'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lachtecha v'derech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, ukshartam la'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvihisharecha, leman tizkeru, va'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'tem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, emet. Page 158, also from Torah, from the book of Exodus. The people sang and danced with joy as they were led out of the only place they had ever known, Egypt, and looked ahead with hope in their hearts, as we also hope to do as we enter an unknown year ahead. They sang with joy, and we also try to live even with question marks that may lie ahead of us. Try to look ahead with a sense of joy. So Micha Mocha on page 158, sung also to the melody of the High Holy Days.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
We have not done Hashkivenu in a while. It is on your song sheet. Hashkivenu is our Jewish nighttime prayer for protection, and we certainly would love some of that in the days ahead, in the year ahead. We know we can't be protected from everything, but we hope the year ahead isn't too bumpy of a road, and that whatever comes our way, we are able to ride out those bumps, ride out those waves, as I talked about on Rosh Hashanah, and make it smooth sailing for ourselves and the people around us. Hashkivenu on your song sheet.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, Hamidenu shomreinu lechaim, Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, Hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, Hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, עבדנו שומרנו לחיים
Shamru. That's all I have to say. Molly knows what to do. Where'd Bradley go? Up. You know what to do too. So they are the leaders of our little choreography, and if they lead, you have to follow, because that's how leading works. Whoa, okay, that was close. No injuries, no Bima injuries, please. Okay, V'shamru is from Torah and says, this Shabbat day is a sign of the loving relationship between God and the Jewish people. And we do have a few motions that we invite you to please join along with our leaders on page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Should have you do one of your cheerleader moves for that grand ending? Leap up on someone's shoulders. Thank you. Thank you, Molly and Bradley, for leading us. The Avot ve'imahot, the three prayers in the tefillah that we do together, have some High Holy Day inserts. You will notice, if you look at page 166 and 167, oh no, I'm sorry, 166, 168, and 170, you will notice there are some lines with Little Hebrew, and it says Shabbat Shuvah. So this is a big deal. Only one day a year we get to read those little words, and that would be today. So I am having Andy do these prayers because it requires some musical complications that are outside my pay grade, and he is going to take that over. So we will first, though, start with the introduction to the tefillah on page 164, and you may rise.
La 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 Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד יראתך. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Adonai, shefatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehiratecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, v'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, גומר חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ואהבה. זוכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים, וכותבנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני. מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני. מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממי ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך אהב הרחמים, זוכר יצוריו, לחיים ברחמים, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני המלך הקדוש.
Thank you. We continue with a moment of silent reflection, either with the prayers in our prayer book or the prayers of your heart, and we continue either sitting or standing.
שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Our thoughts go out to those in our community, friends, loved ones who are in need of healing due to illness or surgery or just a host of things that can bring emotional distress to us. If you are someone who could use some healing, feel free to take some for yourself as well. This Shabbat, we especially think of David Appel, Carolyn Bouchard, Ethan Campbell, Sandra Chesler, Lisa Kiera, Daniel Urchik, Joseph Ehrlichman, Sandra Friedland, Shar Friedman, Roy Zabat Shmuel Uvat Sheva, Tracy Janetta, Julian Kaner, Erwin Kostrinsky, Marion Kostrinsky, Michael Levin, Mark Merberg, Arnold Reamer, Melinda Robbins, Rosalie Saltiel, Louise Samuels, Maxine Shapiro, Bobby Sherman-Geishan, Herman Spring, Andrea Teeple, Carla Teich, Katie Weinstock, Lori Weinstock, Bat Sheva, John Fink. Are there others we wish to think of? We keep all of them in our prayers as we join together in our traditional prayer for healing, Misha Berach, which is on your song sheet.
Misha Berach, Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, veLeah, Hu yevarich v'yirapeh et hacholim. Misha Berach, Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, veLeah, הוא יברך וירפא את החולים. אל נא רפא נא לה, אל נא רפא נא לה, אל נא רפא נא לה, אל נא רפא נא לה. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, שרה, רבקה, רחל ולאה, הוא יברך וירפא את החולים.
Tonight, just a short story on the theme of the High Holy Days, I guess, sort of metaphorically on the theme of the High Holy Days. It is a story called The Boulder, and it was adapted from a European folk tale by Seymour Rossall, who's a pretty well-known Jewish educator, and then further adapted by me. And here is the story. Imagine yourself walking down the path of life. Many other people are walking on what seems to be generally the same road. The more you observe, the more you discover that the road may be the same, but each person walks differently on it. Some sing and swing their arms as they hike along. Some carry heavy packs and troubled faces. Some hike alone, others with a partner. Some walk in a group. Some pause to sit by the roadside while others rush along, almost jogging. You come to a place where a boulder blocks the roadway. Being somewhat of a people watcher, you decide to sit along the side of the road and watch what the travelers decide to do. All kinds of people dressed very differently walk up to the boulder. People in high-end professional wear, people in shorts and t-shirts, people dressed for physical labor. Some encounter the boulder and squeeze past it, leaving it exactly where it was. Some people come up and curse the king of the land for not taking care of this annoying obstacle. Then they might scramble over it. No matter how everyone deals with the huge rock in their way, they somehow get past it and move on, and the boulder remains where it is. Along comes a farmer. He is carrying a heavy load of vegetables to market. He sees the boulder and places his large basket of vegetables off to the side. With great effort, he pushes and slides the boulder until finally there's enough space for people to easily pass through. As he goes back to once again lift his heavy basket, he notices a purse in the road. It's lying where the boulder had just been before he moved it out of the way. He walks over and picks it up, opens it, and pulls out a note with writing on it. Now the farmer looks up at you, approaches you, and hands you the note. He shrugs his shoulder quizzically to show you that he's unable to read it. So you read the note to him. The gold coins in this purse belong to you. It is a gift from me, your king. I place the boulder to block the road as a test. Many will pass the boulder and not think anything of it. But you looked at it and said, if this boulder's an obstacle to me, then it's an obstacle for others too. You were thoughtful enough to move the boulder aside. For going out of your way to help others, this is your reward. You hand him back the note, and he smiles and nods. Then he takes his purse and his basket of vegetables and heads on down the path. From now on, every time you face an obstruction in the road of life, you will face it with awareness. Any obstacle that you face is also going to be faced by others. And by taking some extra time to remove the obstacle for those coming after you, you will be rewarded. The question is, how? What's the reward for thinking of others outside of yourself or your family? If you expend energy to make the paths of life smoother for others, will gold coins rain down on you? Will you live a long and healthy life? Will you be successful in all your endeavors? Maybe, but we shouldn't count on these kinds of rewards. Often, they don't come. But still, there are rewards. We are rewarded by living in a kinder world. We are rewarded by knowing that we have lived a life of value. We are rewarded by setting an example that will cause others to make life better for those who come after us. We are rewarded by knowing that we have lived our Jewish values and served as a strong link in the chain of holiness that ties generation to generation. The end of the Boulder. And I'll let you ponder that as we have a moment of music. And it's my honor to call on our duty trustee, Robin Friedman, to share some things coming up. There's a few things coming up this time of year at our synagogue and other synagogues, but mostly we care about our synagogue.
Thank you, Rabbi. I want to thank Rabbi Rappaport, Andy Sussman, Ruth Pavlov, and Xavier Leff for helping with the service. And also on the Bima tonight, I have Matthew Meyer and Molly Meyer. I have quite a few thank yous to give. I really want to thank Eileen Finkelstone for underwriting our new sukkah. And I'm going to read the 30 names because if you feed them, they will come, and they did come out to help build it. So bear with me. Robert Baumel, Pat Breitkoff, Scott Flecker, myself, Brian Gelpy, Laurel Griefer, Bob Hopp, Louis Horn, Rebecca Horn, Doreen Klein, Stan Klein, Sam Levy, Sandy Lobel, Lauren Madsen, Mark Madsen, Jim Marsh, Matthew Meyer, Phil Neese, Gary Potruk, Rabbi Rappaport, Bradley Reynolds, Belle Reynolds, Wes Reynolds, Louise Samuels, Gary Schneider, little Alex Schneider, Carly Suarez, Gil Suarez, Sadie Suarez, and Mason Suarez. We had families ranging in ages of little Alex who really did help, all the way to, I'm not going to say Louise Samuel, who really did help. And so I want to thank you all those of you that are home. Please understand that I was doubtful it was going to come together, and it did.
So explain, does everyone know what you're talking
Yeah.
about? The people who came to build our sukkah, which is out in front of the building and is just starting to get decorated. It's going up in pieces.
Yes, I said me. I said me. All right, so let me talk about what's coming up. Believe it or not, we have Yom Kippur services Sunday night at 8 o'clock, which is Kol Nidre, and then again Monday morning at 10. a discussion at that 1:30 with Rabbi Rappaport. The Yom Kippur Family Service is at 3:30, quiet meditation and reflection at 4:30, and the closing Nila service is at 5:30. On Tuesday, no Tanakh on Tuesday. However, there's a good reason for that. We will be sorting the high holiday canned foods, and the food closet will be going on. I would imagine Canasta starts again on Wednesday, and Biga will start again on Thursday. I have no other announcements today. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I guess I'll just thank you, Robin. I'll add a couple of things. One is that for Yisker, which is the memorial service, which is according to very long time TBO tradition, always at the very end of our morning service on Yom Kippur. We have some just blank stones, white stones that are in our lobby. Feel free to take one, decorate it in memory of a loved one, of multiple loved ones. If you want to draw a picture that is meaningful to you, that reminds you of them, if you want to write your names, there's no rules on this. It's whatever is meaningful to you. This year, I'm going to try something different, thanks to the suggestion of our president. I bought this fixative spray. I have tried something different each year, and unfortunately, because Florida weather tends to be a little harsh, we tend to lose everything that is on the stones. So this is the new attempt this year. I will be spraying them all before they go outside, and we'll see if that works. But we do have a Yisker garden. It's really pretty. Rob Baumel just really did a refreshing of it. It is outside our, what we call our bingo doors, the big brown doors out there. And I'm going to just throw this out as an idea. If anyone thinks it would be meaningful to have a little bench or something out there for people to sit and reflect, we can do that. So I'm just keeping that open to feedback and see if that's something people would want to do. Another thing for Yom Kippur was, besides the Yiskaraks, I can't remember what I was going to say, but at the end of the day at Ne'ilah is kind of the closing service. We move to a spirit of hope, and we do have Dalah, and we have the shofar, and this year we're going to do something with glow sticks, and I'm not sure what yet. I haven't totally decided, but just a little something to spruce up Ne'ilah a little bit. So that starts at 5:30 on Yom Kippur. I'm trying to think if there was something else I can't remember. Okay, so Aleinu. I would like to call up Fran and Billy Kraft to open our ark doors. And Aleinu is on page 586. If you're able, you may rise.
ולשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהן וגורלנו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Yesher koach, thank you. And you may be seated. Our thoughts turn to all those we have loved and lost, those who are no longer with us, but who live in our hearts, in our memories, in all the ways that they brought their unique gifts to our world. On this Shabbat, during her time of Shiva, we remember Sheila Rosenberg, cousin of Sandra Bisson. During their time of Shloshim, we remember Sandra Cooperman, sister of Robert Hopp. Edward Kaplan, longtime member, husband of Judy Kaplan. Hannah Carden, mother of Belle Reynolds. And Carol Raff, aunt of Bonnie Singer. And those whose yahrzeits fall this week: Charlotte Hochberger Agree, Stuart Barris, May Geller, Melvin Gelman, Theodore Conrad, Sol Kleinman, Jean Levy, Gertrude Lynn, Herman Meltzer, Corey Naxon, Pauline Peckins, David Pravitz, Tilly Rostowski, Herbert Storch. Are there others we wish to remember? We honor all of their memories as we join in Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. You may rise. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Bialma divrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Bagala uvizman kariv yimru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach la'alam olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitrumam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha berichu. Le'ela min kol berachata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, Damiran bialma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rab amin shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. V'imru, v'imru, v'imru. Amen. V'imru, v'imru, v'imru. Amen. You may be seated. We move from our sacred prayer of memory to the joy of the Shabbat day. Through the symbols, of course, of food and drink, because those are always the symbols of joy. Our wine/grape juice and our challah. And I'd like to call up the Meyer family to lead us in Kiddush and Motzi. And Kiddush can be found in your prayer book on page 123.
That sounds like juice. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom tehila, lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki banu bacharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-shabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
Is it grape juice? Hamotzi lehem min aretz. We gave thanks to God for bread. All voices rising, songs together, as our joyfully said, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Te'avon, dig into your challah. Thank you. So Bradley, you've, I think, doubled your age since I first got here, but for a little while longer, you still have such a cute little voice. I know it's not going to last that much longer. We're appreciative every week. You still have your cute little voice. Okay, and now that I've embarrassed Bradley, we conclude with the singing of Adon Olam on page 625. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Ha'yetzir Nivra Le'et Na'asa B'chefzo Kol Hazai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Tichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hoveh Ve'hu Yeh Betifara Ve'hu Echad Ve'ein Sheni Lehamshir Lo Lehachbira Ve'li Reshit Ve'li Tachlit Ve'lo Ha'oz Ve'hamisra Ve'hu Eli Ve'chai Goali Be'tzur Chevli Be'tzara Ve'hu Nisi Umanosli Menatosi Be'yom Ekra Be'yado Avkid Ruchi Be'etishan Be'aira Ve'im Ruchi Geviati Adonai Li Lo Ira.
Please join us for Oneg in the Breeze Way and drink lots of water this weekend before Yom Kippur starts. Shabbat Shalom.